Few names in Hollywood history shine as brightly as Elizabeth Taylor's. Her life was an extraordinary tapestry of cinematic brilliance, personal triumphs and tragedies, scandalous romances, and groundbreaking humanitarian work. From her violet-eyed beauty that captivated millions to her indomitable spirit that defied convention, Taylor's journey remains one of the most fascinating stories of the 20th century. This comprehensive biography explores how a child star became a cultural icon whose influence extended far beyond the silver screen. Start this video. Elizabeth Rosamond Taylor was born on February 27, 1932, in Hampstead Garden suburb, London, to American parents Sarah and Francis Taylor. Her father was an art dealer whose gallery attracted London's elite, while her mother had been a stage actress before marriage. The family lived comfortably in England until 1939 when, fearing the impending war, they relocated to Los Angeles where Francis established a new gallery patronized by Hollywood's elite. Taylor's striking features, particularly her rare violet eyes framed by a genetic mutation that gave her double eyelashes, drew immediate attention in California. At just 10 years old, she made her film debut in There's One Born Every Minute, 1942, for Universal Pictures, though the studio soon dropped her contract, with one executive complaining, "The kid has nothing. Her eyes are too old." Her fortunes changed when MGM signed her for Lassie Come Home, 1943, showcasing her natural charm and English accent. But it was National Velvet, 1944, that catapulted the 12-year-old to stardom. As Velvet Brown, the girl who dreams of racing her horse in the Grand National, Taylor spent months training for the physically demanding role, even delaying production while she grew taller. The film was a massive success, earning over $4 million and establishing Taylor as MGM's most valuable child star. Transition to adult roles and marriages. Unlike many child actors who struggled with the transition to adult roles, Taylor navigated this shift with remarkable success. By 18, she starred opposite Spencer Tracy in Father of the Bride, 1950, proving her bankability as a leading lady. Her performance in A Place in the Sun, 1951, alongside Montgomery Clift demonstrated new dramatic depth, with Clift famously remarking, "Liz is the only woman I have ever met who turns me on," high praise from the reportedly gay actor. Taylor's personal life during this period was equally dramatic. At 17, she began dating hotel heir Conrad Nicky Hilton, marrying him in what was billed as Hollywood's Wedding of the Year in 1950. The fairy tale quickly soured. Hilton was an abusive alcoholic who allegedly caused Taylor to miscarry by kicking her stomach. They divorced after 8 tumultuous months, with Hilton complaining he didn't marry a girl, he married an institution. Her 1952 marriage to British actor Michael Wilding, 20 years her senior, produced 2 sons but ended in 1957 as Taylor's star eclipsed his fading career. That same year, she married flamboyant producer Mike Todd, who brought joy and stability until his tragic death in a plane crash just a year later. Taylor was devastated, screaming so loudly upon hearing the news that neighbors heard her, and had to be sedated to prevent suicide. Their daughter Liza was born shortly before Todd's death. The grieving widow soon became embroiled in one of Hollywood's biggest scandals when she began an affair with Eddie Fisher, Todd's best friend and husband of America's sweetheart Debbie Reynolds. Their 1959 marriage made Taylor a homewrecker in the public eye, though she later revealed the Fisher-Reynolds marriage was already failing. Career peak and the Burton era. The 1960s marked both Taylor's professional zenith and her most infamous romance. In 1960, she won her first Academy Award for Butterfield 8, though she famously hated the film, calling it a piece of shit, and believing the Oscar was a sympathy vote after her near-fatal bout with pneumonia. Then came Cleopatra, 1963, the most expensive film ever made at that time, $37 million. And the production that changed Taylor's life forever. She negotiated an unprecedented $1 million salary, equivalent to about $10 million today, becoming the highest-paid actor for a single film. During filming in Rome, Taylor began an affair with co-star Richard Burton, despite both being married to others. The Vatican condemned their erotic vagrancy, while the U.S. House of Representatives denounced their behavior. The Taylor-Burton relationship became the most publicized romance of its era. They married in 1964, divorced in 1974, remarried in 1975, and divorced again in 1976, a turbulent partnership fueled by equal parts passion and alcohol. Professionally, they made 11 films together, including Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, 1966, for which Taylor won her second Oscar. Her transformative performance as the vulgar, vulnerable Martha complete with weight gain and aging makeup, proved her extraordinary range. Later career and business ventures. As the 1970s progressed, Taylor's film career declined, though she remained a household name. She focused on supporting sixth husband John Warner's political career. He became a U.S. Senator, before their 1982 divorce. She made occasional television appearances, including a memorable role on General Hospital, and became the first major celebrity to launch a fragrance line, creating a blueprint for future stars. Her 1991 marriage to construction worker Larry Fortensky, whom she met in rehab, made headlines for its class differences. The wedding at Michael Jackson's Neverland Ranch symbolized Taylor's lifelong defiance of convention. Health struggles and humanitarian work. Taylor faced numerous health challenges, including a near-fatal bout with pneumonia in 1961 requiring an emergency tracheotomy, hip replacements, a benign brain tumor removal in 1997, and lifelong battles with addiction and chronic pain. She became one of the first celebrities to openly discuss rehab, checking into the Betty Ford Center in the 1980s. Her greatest legacy may be her AIDS activism. After friend Rock Hudson's 1985 death from AIDS-related complications, Taylor co-founded AMFAR, the American Foundation for AIDS Research, and later established the Elizabeth Taylor AIDS Foundation in 1991. At a time when HIV/AIDS carried heavy stigma, she lobbied politicians, funded research, and comforted patients, raising over $100 million. For these efforts, she received the Jean Hersholt Humanitarian Award in 1993. Elizabeth Taylor was one of the world's biggest movie stars in the 1960s and is remembered for her groundbreaking performances in films such as Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, Cleopatra, and more. Not only was she widely recognized for her acting talent, but she was also noted for her striking violet-toned eyes with rare double-set lashes, her slew of tumultuous marriages, her lucrative perfume and jewelry lines, and her lavish, jet-setting lifestyle. However, behind all the glitz and glamour in the public eye, there was much hardship and chaos in Taylor's personal life. "My very first memory is of pain," Taylor told Us Weekly in 2010, a few months before her passing. But what exactly had she gone through? From her childhood fame to her death in 2011, here are some tragic details about Dame Elizabeth Taylor's life that you might not have known about. Her father was physically abusive. Born in London to Kansas native parents, Elizabeth Taylor moved with her family to the United States when she was 8 years old. Her father, Francis Len Taylor, was an art dealer, and her mother, Sarah Viola Warmbrodt, was an actress who inspired her daughter's love for film. By 1944, Taylor gained national attention at the age of 12 as the lead character Velvet Brown in the critically acclaimed film National Velvet, in which she played a precocious young girl obsessed with horses. Unfortunately, Taylor's father did not take kindly to his daughter's success. "When I was a little girl, my father was abusive when he drank and seemed to like to bat me around a bit," the star told Barbara Walters in 1999. "But when I left home and had my own child, I started thinking about my father and how it must have felt for him to have his 9-year-old daughter making more money than he was." Taylor's relationship with her father was so strained that when Mickey Rooney told her to imagine her father dying so she could cry during a scene, she burst out laughing instead. However, Taylor said that she learned to forgive her father as an adult. She felt suffocated by childhood fame like many child stars. Being launched into the spotlight at an early age had damaging psychological effects on Elizabeth Taylor. "I was used from the day I was a child, and utilized by the studio. I was promoted for their pockets. I never felt that they were a haven," she told Rolling Stone in 1987. Taylor's free-spirited and fiery personality did not mesh well with the controlling MGM studio executives. The actress recalled a story where producer Louis B. Mayer began screaming at Taylor's mother, and Taylor intervened by telling him to go to hell. MGM's vice president demanded that Taylor apologize, but she stuck to her guns and refused. "I don't know where I found the independence," she said later about the argument. "I totally winged it on my own and just took my career, with total knowledge and decision, and threw it out the window." MGM originally tried to change her signature look. Known for her double-set lashes, thick eyebrows, and jet black hair, Elizabeth Taylor's iconic look as we know it today almost never came to be, primarily because it went against the trends of the time. In fact, when Taylor was a child auditioning for Lassie Come Home, a cameraman thought her eyelashes were fake and instructed her to take them off. MGM studio executives wanted Taylor to conform to Hollywood's beauty standards, which would have meant lightening her hair and thinning her eyebrows. However, Her parents luckily put a stop to this plan. God forbid you do anything individual or go against the fad. But I did, Taylor confidently told Rolling Stone. God must have had some reason for giving me bushy eyebrows and black hair. I guess I must have been pretty sure of my sense of identity. It was me, she added. She hated the role that won her her first Oscar. By 1960, Elizabeth Taylor was already a superstar and had a slew of extremely popular credits under her belt, including Father of the Bride, Giant, Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, and more. Her leading role in the 1960 film Butterfield 8, as a troubled sex worker named Gloria Wanderess, earned Taylor her fourth nomination and first Oscar. Taylor's gripping performance was also praised by the media. The picture's major asset is Taylor, Variety printed in 1959. It is a torrid, stinging portrayal with one or two brilliantly executed passages within. However, Taylor's personal perception of the film was rather different. According to the Los Angeles Times, her contract forced her to take the role even though she was repulsed by the plot. "This is the most pornographic script I have ever read," Taylor apparently told MGM's head of production. "I've been here for 17 years and I was never asked to play such a horrible role as Gloria Wanderess. She's a sick nymphomaniac." Taylor was so disgusted by the movie that she originally turned down the role. And when she first saw the film, she reportedly threw her shoes at the screen and stormed out of the room. She regretted her first marriage a few weeks in. While Taylor may be revered today for her legendary acting roles, her legacy is also commonly associated with her turbulent love life. Taylor was married a whopping 8 times, with her first wedding taking place in 1950 when Taylor was only 18 years old to Conrad Hilton Jr., the son of the Hilton Hotel's magnate. MGM paid in full for the lavish ceremony with 600 guests. However, their marriage lasted less than a year, as Taylor quickly realized she made a mistake even before their honeymoon was over. "He became sullen, angry, and abusive, physically and mentally," she recalled in her autobiography, Elizabeth Takes Off. A hopeless romantic, Taylor married fellow actor Michael Wilding, who was 20 years her senior, just a year after her divorce. The pair had 2 children named Michael and Christopher but ended up divorcing in 1957. Taylor spent her later years focused on philanthropy and family. In 2000, Queen Elizabeth II named her a Dame Commander of the Order of the British Empire, DBE, honoring both her artistic contributions and charity work. After surviving congestive heart failure in 2009, she succumbed to the condition on March 23, 2011, at age 79. Her son Michael Wilding Jr. summarized her spirit perfectly. "My mother was an extraordinary woman who lived life to the fullest, with great passion, humor, and love." Today, Taylor's legacy endures not just through her films, but through her fearless authenticity, business acumen, and compassionate activism. A true icon who transformed personal struggles into meaningful change. From the wide-eyed girl of National Velvet to the tempestuous Martha of Virginia Woolf, from scandalous divorcee to revered humanitarian, Elizabeth Taylor's life was indeed larger than the silver screen. As she once said, "I don't pretend to be an ordinary housewife," a fitting epitaph for a woman who redefined what it meant to be a Hollywood legend.